The Carolina Panthers just flipped the entire NFL script in one freezing afternoon. Nobody saw it coming. A team that everyone counted out walked into Lambeau Field and silenced a crowd that was already celebrating before kickoff. What happened next didn't look like luck. It looked like a statement. A wounded team playing fearless football, turning every mistake into a message. This was not supposed to happen, yet the Panthers made it feel like destiny. Everything about this game screamed upset before it even ended. The energy on the sideline felt different, like a group that finally realized who they are. Rico Dowdle ran like a man with something to prove. Bryce Young played through pain like he refused to quit, and the defense hit with a purpose that echoed through the field. The Panthers weren't trying to win pretty. They were trying to survive and send a warning to everyone who doubted them. This was Carolina showing heart, and the league better pay attention. But here's where it gets interesting. This new version of the Panthers isn't built on hype or luck. It's built on a formula that wears teams down and makes them break. They've discovered a style that travels anywhere, even into the coldest stadiums in football. And the key to it all starts with their offense, a ground attack that has quietly become one of the toughest in the league. That's where the real story begins. But before we get into that, hit that like and subscribe button for more Panthers and all the NFL content. Let's aim for 250 likes on this video. Carolina found a heartbeat on offense, and it lives in the run. The line fires off together, tight ends sift across the formation, and motion from JT Sanders and Jimmy Horn pulls eyes the wrong way. Every carry feels like a body shot. The clock melts, the defense breathes hard, and the field tilts in quiet steps. This is not cute football. It is control through patience and clean execution. Rico Dowdle turned that plan into pain for Green Bay. He stacked 130 rushing yards on 25 carries with 2 touchdowns, and the way he earned them mattered even more than the totals. Short gains early turned into lanes late. Earlier weeks hinted a pattern. He ripped 206 against Miami, followed with 183 against Dallas, then still pushed 79 against the Jets when space was tight. Chuba Hubbard fits as the burst changeup, fresh legs that punish tired fronts. The mix gives Carolina a steady drumbeat that does not blink in cold or wind. Here's the twist that sets up everything else. A run game this steady buys Bryce Young time and simple pictures. Play action pulls linebackers, crossers come open, and the chains keep moving without risky throws. The next piece is the quarterback playing through pain and choosing the right moments to strike. That is where we go next. Bryce Young stood in the cold with a sore ankle and turned chaos into calm. He did not chase hero throws. He read the wind, he trusted timing, and he kept the huddle steady. Every snap felt like a small test, and he kept passing them with quick decisions and clean feet. The moment never rushed him, and that composure carried the offense when it mattered. The box score looks quiet at first glance, yet the details speak loud. He finished 11 of 20 for 102, with 1 interception and only 1 sack taken. The drive work is the story. He used cadence to freeze safeties, he stole easy yards on play action, and he hit Tedairoa McMillan on a toughen breaker that cut through the wind. Those are chain plays, not headline plays, and they kept Green Bay off balance long enough for the ground game to bite. Here is why that matters for everything that comes next. When your quarterback plays within the plan, the protection can settle, the run game can breathe, and the calls can stay patient. Carolina needed that kind of grown football in this setting, and Bryce delivered it. Now look at the group that gave him a pocket and a path, a battered line that answered every punch in the trenches. Carolina's line walked into cold noise and turned it into quiet control. Communication stayed sharp. Feet stayed tied together, and the pocket kept its shape. Blitz looks came, twists came, the group kept sorting it out. The result was clean football in dirty weather with 1 sack allowed, and lanes that grew wider as the game wore on. The run game fed off that rhythm. Double teams sealed the edge, cut blocks stole pursuit angles, and backside effort kept Rico Dowdle on schedule. Short gains in the first quarter became steady chunks in the third. Protection calls matched the moment. slide help arrived on time, backs met free rushers square, and Bryce Young was able to work timing routes without panic throws. Their standard up front set a tone that the defense matched snap after snap. You could feel it when the other side of the trench flipped. Tershawn Wharton caved in the guard Jordan Morgan. Derek Brown drew extra bodies and freed teammates, and the rush began to squeeze throwing lanes. That shift is the story now, because the defense did more than hold the line. It tilted the field. Carolina's defense answered every question with force and timing. Christian Roseboom set the tone, striking ball carriers and finishing plays from sideline to sideline, then ripping the football free on the red zone stand that changed the mood of the day. Derek Brown drew extra bodies snap after snap, which opened clean lanes for friends to shoot gaps and close the pocket. The group played fast, but it was the discipline that stood out. Eyes in the right place, angles clean, tackles firm. The back end matched that urgency with smart positioning. J.C. Horn erased windows and dared Green Bay to try him again. Trayvon Moehrig read the deep shot, turned and stole it, a field-flipping play that stalled momentum and fed the run game immediately after. Mike Jackson stayed sturdy on the boundary, Lean Ransom patrolled the middle, and Tavon Wallace finished in space. One official sack on the sheet did not tell the story. The real pressure came from coverage that forced slow decisions and throws into traffic. Here's why it matters for the path forward. When your defense takes the ball and squeezes the clock, your offense can stay patient and lean into its strength. That invites strategy, not chaos. Dave Canales used that leverage all afternoon, tiny choices that stacked into control, from field direction to short yard wrinkles. The next chapter is those hidden decisions, the quiet chess that turned a cold road game into a statement. Dave Canales treated the win like a teammate. He took the ball first to control field direction after halftime, then kept drives moving toward the friendlier end. That choice changed the feel of every kick and every punt. Coverage units pinned Green Bay deep, the offense worked with shorter grass, and the fourth quarter belonged to Carolina because the elements were no longer random, they were managed. Short yard calls came with misdirection that stole eyes. Jimmy Horn flashed across the formation before the snap and tugged linebackers out of their fits, while JT Sanders shifted late to mess with run keys. On defense, the rotation with Trayvon Moehrig and Lathan Ransom disguised intent just long enough to invite a risky deep throw. Green Bay saw space, then the picture changed and the ball floated into traffic as the wind nudged it off course. All of those tiny choices stacked into one final test. The field position math, the clock squeeze, the wind at the right back corner, it all pointed to a single swing of a young leg. An undrafted kicker walked out to a silent moment with everything on the line. If the plan was sound, one strike would prove it. That is the moment we are about to enter. Silence hit Lambeau when Ryan Fitzgerald stepped forward, an undrafted rookie with ice in his veins and a job that could swing the season. The wind had been a problem all day, flags snapping, breath turning white, and every fan waiting for the miss. He set his plant foot, trusted his swing, and struck clean. The ball climbed into a hard sky, then held its line like it had somewhere it needed to be. Pressure turns legs heavy, but his rhythm stayed calm. The snap arrived on time. The hold never wobbled, and the follow-through told the truth before the officials did. The distance was 49 yards, the kind that exposes nerves, yet the sound was pure. The kick cleared the front line, cut through the gust, and split the middle. Carolina led, the sideline erupted, and the clock felt lighter with every step back to the bench. That swing did more than win a game, it announced belief. A young kicker proved he belonged, a locker room saw the plan pay off, and a rising team left one of the toughest fields with a result that travels. Now the question shifts from how to if. Can the Panthers turn this shock into a streak and push the race in the South from hope to control? The path is clear and the stakes are simple. Carolina sits at 5-4 with a late bye that lets bodies heal and plans sharpen. Tampa Bay holds the lead today, but the Falcons and the Saints are slipping. This is the moment to turn one shock into a run that changes the table everyone reads on Monday morning. The formula travels into every stadium. Stop the run first, protect the football, and let the ground game drain the clock. Bryce Young keeps the picture clean with play action and timely throws. The defense forces hesitation, rotates smart with Trayvon Moehrig and Lathan Ransom, and lets J.C. Horn challenge on the outside. If Carolina hits those boxes 4 times out of 5, the playoff door does not just crack open, it invites them in. Now the tension moves to the next 2 weeks. Split with Tampa Bay at minimum and handle business against Atlanta and New Orleans. If that stretch lands, the bye becomes a launch pad, not a pause. The question turns from can they hang around to how high can they climb? And that takes us straight into the plan for the very next game where this new identity must show up again.